I had another one booked. I like finished up my client. I was like, all right, boom, 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 hopped on there, and I was like, just like chilling backstage for like 10 minutes. I was like, fuck
Nah, shoot. Well,
it.
I'm a punctual man for you, dude. Not usually, but yeah. Nah, how you doing, my man?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. Blessed, 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 and highly favored. Just eating good, but got the weight back down and feeling great, man. Like my body's feeling good. I was a little bit beat up from the fight. Just like not really like anything that happened like where I was getting hit, but just nicks and dings from hitting, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Not some good work though.
Yeah, I got some good work, and then now we're gonna get back into pretty much full training camp, which is like my whole entire life. Like if I'm not every day I wake up, I'm like, how many training sessions can I fit into this day, and what would be most beneficial? So that's like every day is a training camp to me. You know, like every day of my life is training camp.
Speaking of you waking up, I'm so grateful you did the other day. I caught your Instagram live where you had that near dryer fire going on, man.
Man, I know. You know, like I made it such a big deal because it is a big deal. Like I would I was I was hanging out. I was about to I did so I put it's probably typical like most like I think most people, but I put my laundry in the washing machine, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, a couple hours I'll take it out." I forget. And then I was gonna put that laundry in the dryer before going to bed. And man, then the dryer caught fire on the inside in the morning when I did it. I started it. I could kind of smell something, and I was like, man, I gotta get a second opinion. So I asked my roommate. He's like, nah, man, it's just your upper lip. I was like, well, that ain't my upper lip. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, it's the dryer, bro. Come here. And so he went up. He's like, oh, he's like, that's fire. I was like, right? That's what I thought. And so we got it taken care of, cleaned out all the lint, and got it working. But damn, that's crazy. Like, there's just like I started going through like all the little scenarios of like what could have happened and could have ended very badly for everybody.
Oh yeah, man, that stuff happens out of nowhere. Not to dive too much into my anecdotes, but I had this it was like a first Tinder date. This is like a month ago, and we went to this bar, and then we went back to her house, and we were just watching a movie, and she like smoked a little bit of a joint in her garage earlier, and she had just moved there, so like she had boxes everywhere, and we were just in
Yeah.
her room watching a movie, and somebody was banging on the door, and we're like, what the hell is that? So they kept banging. So we went out there, and it was the neighbor, and he was like, "Yo, the like fire department's on the way. There's like hella smoke over here." So we went into her garage, and turns out she put her joint out on a like near a box, and it just smoked her. It was completely smoked out. We had to like empty the house. Her cat ran away for
No
like an hour.
way.
Yeah, no, that stuff happens out of nowhere. But yeah, that was my worst date. So just had to
Damn, bro. Little Netflix and chill on the first date
got
too. Like
interrupted,
little
dog.
plays.
The fire squad got involved. That's not normal for me.
Yeah, man. I know. I had a shorty over, and like thank God I was like hanging out with her because uh after she had left, I fucking just passed out and I totally forgot. I was like, oh man. And then the next morning, I'm like, damn. So I gotta hit her up and let her know that she potentially saved my life.
Yeah. This kind of segues off the shorty situation, but man, I got to know your hair routine. Like, what are you doing to look so like
Oh
voluptuous all the
yeah.
time?
Yeah, right?
Got a
Not
mane
bad,
on you.
right?
You got a mane on you. That's good.
Yeah, to like right now, it's just conditioner, but what I'm trying to do is you can kind of see it, but I'm trying to grow out the sides. The sides are short cuz I had to cut it for the contender series fight cuz I can't show up like a scrub, you know? You can't show up like a scrub, so to be honest, I just showered, conditioned it, and then I just dried it up a little bit, not too dry, and I just woke up like this.
Yeah, you look good and you fought well for that one, and your debut too. I do have a few more aesthetic questions in a little bit, but I do want to talk about your performances. 8-0, you're killing it, my man. Like I want to know what's next for you. If you have any news you could drop on us, if there's anybody you're thinking of, I'll take anything from you, dude.
uh, well, I can't say what it is
I
because
double dare you.
not everything's been confirmed, but we will be fighting for a big show, another big card, or a big show. We're on the big show, but we'll be fighting for another big card, and we already have an opponent.
You do.
Yep.
What does their name rhyme with?
uh, Smile.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the whiteboard with that one later.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
That's
All right,
good.
yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I
Um,
haven't told anybody. You're good at this. I like it.
hey, thank you, man. Thank you. What's I've heard you say in interviews before that because you have fought in so many backyards, you actually kind of like it. Is that hopefully going to be the situation? If there is indeed a venue planned out.
Yeah, like for me, man, like no matter where we go, if it's in the states, if it's out of the state, like basically, it's just like I'm just unbothered. Like when it comes to this, it's just like I don't care if they're yelling at me or yelling for me. Yelling for me would I mean would definitely probably give me like a little different energy. Like it's definitely nice hearing like my name yelled and people cheering. It's kind of nice. But these days it just doesn't phase me. And
Mhm.
honestly, when they were booing me, it gave me more energy.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are you
Yeah.
neutral or like do you kind of like being the like the heel in a situation?
Yeah, I just know who I am. Like maybe if I was younger it would have bothered me and messed with me a little bit. But nowadays I just know who I am as a person and as a human being and I know that I'm a good guy. And if you're a good guy or a good person, you don't have to prove that to anybody. It just shows through your character.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the vibe I got from you from your post fight interviews and your Instagram live. You were just exuding good energy. Like I hopped on your Instagram live to hear about your like near death experience, and I left feeling like I'm gonna have a better day. You know, like you just
So
gotta
yeah.
yeah, you put that out there, and uh, I really hope that you're because I hear so many people talking about you, and you're one fight into the UFC already. Like Shane Young, granted, is a big card with
Yep.
and Shane Young is he's a pretty big name. He's got great
Yep.
teammates around him. So I'm glad you're getting a push already, and I'm hoping that the next fight really like puts you to that next level. Uh, I am curious though, like if you had the opportunity to fight, you're from Minnesota, moved to
Yep.
California, right? If you
Yep.
had the opportunity to fight near any of those locations, which one would you prefer? And would you prefer that over getting booed?
Uh, yeah, I mean, for sure. Like when they were cheering for him, it gave me energy. But definitely, definitely, there's a different feeling. Like after you win a fight, it's such a spiritual experience, because you go through such rigorous training, such a mental battle within yourself. Um, you have such a physiological change because you're doing a weight cut, and you're dieting and nutrition. Like your whole entire like life changes, especially in the last 2 weeks leading up to the fight. Like it's dramatic how much it changes. And so you're going through so many life changes at that time. And then when you have it's just knowing that you get the win and like you're caught in the moment, then all of a sudden you get done and you see your family, your friends and acquaintances and maybe if I used to teach kids class, and there'd be some kids from like the kids jujitsu or kids Muay Thai or kids boxing class, and people in like my classes that would come out that you wouldn't expect to come out, and so you get to interact and see them. And they're showing a bunch of love, and it's just a beautiful thing, man. And then afterwards, I don't drink or party or anything, so uh, I uh, I just like going and sitting down and having a burger and a milkshake, or having like some
So
barbecue or some food with my friends and fam.
you're on the more like wholesome side of celebrations after a fight, huh?
Yeah, I'm not like first off after well, this is the reason why, because like you're getting hit in the head a lot. So if like you go and like start drinking right after a fight, like I don't know, it just seems like a really bad idea. And I've seen a lot of guys like go down that path, and drugs and drinking get involved. And man, there's some boxers from my hometown that uh man, they talk funny, and they walk funny, and it's just all bad, you know.
Sorry, my cat felt like he had to interrupt that. No,
He's like, dog.
I totally get that, and I like your approach. And I don't know if you see this stuff, but I was doing my research before this interview, and I was watching these like pretty much any YouTube video I could over you, and almost every one of them has some like random like comments of, "Oh yeah, I trained with this guy like 5 years ago. He's a great dude," or like, "Yeah, he was my homie growing up, like super nice guy." So I feel like if you don't at least notice it all the time, you definitely have that backing behind you, and you definitely put out the positive vibes that I feel like you're reaching to put out.
That's cool, yeah. Because when you said that people are talking about me, uh, it feels good. Like I definitely watched some YouTube videos, and there's some guys like there's some like NPCs talking shit. They don't have like a profile picture. They're not working on their attributes in life. It's just like, and it clearly shows. No, it's just like I see that stuff. They're like, oh man, Blake was flexing so hard in this interview. It's like that's just
Bro, you're shredded.
bro, I'm just chilling. Like that's just
Yeah.
and then I fucked up in my interview. I was like, he's like, did you have any jitches going into it? I was like, super calm, super nervous. But it's
That
like
actor was good though. Dude.
it's funny shit. It's like I meant super calm, wasn't nervous, but yeah. And actually I wasn't nervous at all. I felt great in the fight. I think I was more nervous during the
You look
interview.
great. Yeah, I was watching some clips of you and Coach Flame. Shout out to him. That dude seems cool.
Man.
Your drills have a lot of lateral movement and like side to side, and like feigning with a body shot, going up top, going to side. How big a part do you think Coach Flame has played in your career so far and your life in general at this point?
Oh man, Flame is like when me and Flame got together, it was like Moses getting the Ten Commandments. That's what I always say. It's like it was divine intervention, bro. My little brother had just committed suicide, and Flame hit me up to get some training, and I met him a couple months prior to that, and this guy was just larger than life, and he had really good fighters. And then in that time, in that 2 months of him losing all his fighters through management that he brought in and trusted, uh, uh, he lost all his fighters. Man, I lost my little brother, and he hit me up, and I've been watching all his videos. Like everybody does. I was watching all his drills, all his videos, and I was going up to local like 24-hour fitness and like doing them. And he hit me up, and it was a wrap, bro. It was like I lost a little brother and gained a new one. It's like it was it was everything, because my striking wasn't that confident in my fights. People were like, that's why everybody right now is, even though I have 20 boxing matches and 10 kickboxing matches under my belt. It's like something with the MMA gloves. Like just like short circuit in my brain, made
Right.
me have some doubt, and and so he really brought that out of me. He really was just like, okay, we're gonna be fight specific. We're gonna wrap our hands every time. We don't wear fucking just like little title wraps around our wrists. Like that's disrespectful. And just the way he did everything and tailored everything, he completely changed my life. And it was like all he did really was awake a sleeping giant because after the first day I trained with him, the next day I went to sparring and I almost knocked out three guys, and I dropped three guys with body shots.
So
And it was
he was just the missing piece.
he was just a missing piece. I mean, it was like clear as day. And that's I mean, he's my best friend. He's my brother, my mentor. He's like all of the above. I mean, it's it was just divine intervention, bro. Like when I lost my little brother, I came to him and I was just like, "Hey, man, sorry, I missed a couple days. Like, my little brother just committed suicide," and he's like, and everybody was like, and everybody would be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." But him, he was different. He goes, "My condolences, but Poppy, life is when we make it." He's like, "So why don't we make it the best and knock this motherfucker out and go get another championship belt?" And I was like, "Damn!" And it motivated me. I was like, "Damn, you're right. Yeah, life is what we make it." Like I'll never forget. Life is what we make it. He's like, life is what we make it, pa. He's like, we gotta fucking go out and get this, regardless. You're signed up for the fight. How far out is it? I was like 5 weeks. And he's like, perfect. He's like 3:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday with me. Don't be late. It's like bet. And so we started working that day, and he just started like changing how I would train. I'd be like tense and tight, hit with a lot of power, and he's like, Poppy, relax. He's like, act like you love your job. He's like, act like you enjoy your life. And I'm like, what? And he's like, relax. He's like, put a smile on, have fun. Whoa, yeah, I get to be here. And then just so much of that all day, every day, just like left a imprint on like my subconscious mind, and like my whole personality started changing. Like I used to have really bad depression and suicidal thoughts and all that, and hanging around with Flame like just helped me out a lot. And then I was listening to Andrew Tate one day, and there's a guy at the UFC that was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Dude, fuck you!" Like it helped me, so I'm gonna tell people what helped me. It might not help them, but it helped me. And he was like, "If you kill yourself and you have children, you're a coward." I was like, "Ooh, shit!" I was like, "Well, my little brother has a baby on the way and a baby already," so I was like, "But and most people that hear that would be like, 'Fuck that guy,' da 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 da," and but in my head, I was so like down and out, and like just like I've gone through this my whole life. And I was like going through it, and I was like, I bet he's saying that for a reason. There's always two sides of a coin. And so I listened further, and he's like, you know what? He's like, you're a coward, and you have to fucking believe that because people rely on you and people need you in this life. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I'm like, that's dope. I'm like, yeah, people do need me. People do need. I need Braden. I needed this guy to pull through, and not only me, his kids did, and and it's unfair and it sucks, but he was saying like he was saying, the, it's all based on your belief. Like if you believe in ghosts, like and one person believes in ghosts, I believe in ghosts, you don't believe in ghosts. I go up into a house, I hear the wind move something. I'm worried. What's going on? What is that? I call the exorcist. I check every room in the house. You hear it? You hear a noise in the house? Oh, must be the wind. Something must have dropped. Oh, go back to bed. And it's the same thing. It's all your belief system. And people like the PR team. for depression and anxiety and mental health will come out and they fight to defend something that's not fucking real. And I started realizing that I was like, wait, we're just programmed to think that. Just like it's programmed to like be like, oh, I'm so sorry, brother did that, and like really it's just pushing me into myself and making me feel worse about it. And so I started studying the faculties of my mind more, and I'm like, I just don't fucking believe this. And when I got done visiting, seeing my brother in the morgue, I was like, fuck this. I was like, I don't vibrate at that frequency anymore. That's the way I said it. But I had no other outside influence that I could that agreed with me on like such a strong level. And eventually, like 2 months later, like people are like, oh no, it's chemical imbalance, it's this and that, like, and then like 2 months later, I'm fucking depressed again and suicidal again, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I hear that, and I'm like, wait, I said that. I said it in just a little bit different of a way, and then all of a sudden, I haven't had. I felt sad, but I'm not depressed. Like sad is a normal emotion. It means that like something is not right. You have to do something about it. Like you have to change something in your life, whether it's doing more work or being more giving or being more helpful or being more kind to yourself or eating better, something, like there's something that has to change. And it's so easy for all of us to say, "Oh yeah, I just have depression." End of story. That's just what it is. Oh yeah, I just have depression. That's why I can't talk to girls. That's why I can't go after the job I want. I have anxiety. I can't fight. Too much anxiety. And it's this excuse that we hide behind. And there'll be a lot of people that disagree with me, but I've had quote unquote depression and even suicidal thoughts and ideation like my whole life. A few attempts at suicide, and thank God they never worked. And I can stand and say today that I do not have that at all. Nothing, nothing
That's
at
great to
all.
hear too. That's really
You
great to
know,
hear.
and it's like people have to know that. People have to know that there's a solution, because all everybody focuses on is the problem. I mean, like, how many people do you know? I'm like going off on a tangent here, but it's
No, you're
important.
good.
It's
Yeah.
important to me because like so many people align with this. They're like, oh yeah, I have depression, so like I have anxiety, and like every single person that I know that has anxiety, like they're on medication, and it's not curing their anxiety. So what the fuck? Like this is that's fucked up. That's a bad cycle. It's like, so I know some people that got on antidepressant medication, it helped and they got off of it. That's great. But it's like, when do you stop taking the medication? When do you stop believing that you have this thing? And then once you believe it, then you go down this rabbit hole of believing it so much that you go to see a doctor, and a doctor just says, well, do you do this? 1 through 10. 6? Oh, yeah, it looks like you need medication. And so now this motherfucker is thinking like, I think I have depression. Now I go into a doctor. The doctor is a doctor. He tells me I have depression. So now I'm taking pills for depression, and it's all flowing into this fucking thing. And then like, how could your mind not believe that you aren't a depressed person or anxious person or have ADHD and all this shit? It's like you don't have ADHD. You just have excess energy, and it's not a bad thing. And it's like you don't have fucking OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Like you just like things clean and tidy. Like it's not like good things that aren't an ailment or an illness or a disease. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Exactly.
right?
I think it's how you take what you're given. Like me, super like I've been diagnosed with things, but I've never wanted to take the extra step to medication. I always thought like I don't want that to mitigate my personality because like
That's right.
my brain like it's too much sometimes. Like I'm like it's hard to like have a linear thought, but I appreciate who I am, you know. So I don't want to like slow myself down for any reason, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
in terms of all that, like I first and foremost, I do want to say like uh, from like a personal standpoint, I really do appreciate like how you represent your brother. I am sorry to hear about that. Yeah, man, I lost my brother 3 years ago, and it was like the hardest time of my life. And I got to a point where I just looked for distractions, and I ended up bettering myself through distractions.
Yep.
I didn't want to sit around and talk about it all the time, but I started doing jujitsu again, and I got into
Right.
skateboarding, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm fucking doing it now, you know.
But
But
but see, look at all these things you're doing. You're taking action. Like if a drug addict or an alcoholic stops doing drugs and drinking, you gotta replace it. Like that's what people don't get. It's like if you have like I call it like the hole in the soul. It's like everybody just feels like they have a void or a hole in their soul. It's like, well, you gotta fill it with things that you love. Like instead of counterintuitive actions that are going to be detrimental to your health, whether it be mental or emotional or physical, it's like you have to make sure that you replace, the morning of your little brother's death with more training, more fights, with your brother, right?
yeah,
Yeah, with your brother's death, jujitsu, skateboard. I was skateboarding for a little bit too, and but I didn't want to mess up my ankle for the contender series fight. But
yeah. My knees are mad at me, dude.
yeah, right. So I mean, you have to replace it. And what happens is, fuck, dude. I would have anxiety too if if I had all this shit going on in my life and I wasn't getting a sweat. I wasn't working out. When you're skateboarding, that shit's a workout. Jiu-jitsu, it's a workout. Like we have to work out. We have to eat better. Like with it, and it's hard because there's a lot of things that are pulling us away from that. But I think the times where I've healed the most is when is on the mats, doing something, like being active, like you gotta movement is life.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad you do, and I certainly appreciate you continuing to overcome what you've been through.
Yeah, and it's crazy, bro, because I've dealt with it. People are like, "You don't understand." I'm like, "Yes, I do." I'm like, "I don't know, but I understand." I don't
Yeah,
know how, I don't know 100%, but I do understand because I've been through it. And I wouldn't speak on it if I didn't have experience, strength, and hope in it. But I do. And that's like a month before that shit happened with my little brother. That's like he's like, how you doing today? I was like, you know. He's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, and we would talk about depression. We would talk about like suicide and shit. And I'd always try and just point him in the right direction. And it's just like sometimes when people have their mind made up, or he had like a little incident that day that it happened that just pushed him over the edge, and he was just afraid that he was gonna go to jail, and just like, and people don't like Top G, but I think it's fucking bullshit that some girl accused him. It's like, dude, his life, Top G and my little brother are so related in so many ways because, um, my little brother got accused from a girl who had been his friend for 8 years that he raped her, and they were like drinking together and doing all this, and like, and she accused him of this. He did 7 months in jail, which Top G's in prison, Romanian prison or whatever. And did he do it? I don't know. Did Braden do it? No, he didn't. He's been friends with the girl for 8.5 years. Like, he's not forcing himself on this girl. Because at the end of the day, like, people are like, oh, well, how do you know? Well, he didn't have money for an attorney. 7 months later, we get money for an attorney. And she goes to the girl. The girl's like, "Oh, I'm over this. I'm done with it. Like, he didn't do it. Like, I just, I was just mad that he wouldn't give me his phone. Boom, they go knock on the celly. Hey, you're going home today. 7 months of his life lost. Tried committed suicide 3 times when he was in there, and then 5 months later when he's out,
Yeah,
that's it.
something
And
so trivial.
it's like,
So
dude,
trivial.
where do they get held accountable? You know, you can just put somebody in a little dark box for months, possibly years, and then, oh, yep, sorry, I'm over it, and like nothing happens to them. Like, I don't know, it's crazy.
No, yeah, and I have some friends that have been on either side of that situation. It's like the dudes that do it, fucking, they deserve the worst. But like the ones that
For sure.
they put their life on hold for so long just to be proven like innocent. It's like, okay, but how do I get that back? Like
Well, yeah, and then you get out, and imagine you're 19, 20 years old, and you get out, and then everybody thinks of you like this way. Like when you're when you're that young, like that's insane. Like that, like young or old, it's just crazy, So it's like, man, he fucking went through it his last year, but me and him got really close, and it's just important to just check in on your people. It's just
yeah,
important. I've always been that way because a lot of the time growing up, I didn't feel so good about myself either, and I always told him that I was like, hey man, I'm in the same boat as you. I was like fucking lost and confused, and then I just stayed my ass in the gym, man, and I just took it out on training, and that always seemed to help me out. And he was getting in shape a little bit, but he just couldn't find his niche.
yeah. And again, I just want to say, like, yeah, thank you for carrying yourself the way you do throughout this and having that message. I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. You have like an extra like 10 minutes for me.
I'm chilling. We're chilling. We're good,
Okay.
bro.
Yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I just looked at the time. I was like, oh my god, dude, I took up so much of his time.
Oh, I went on a rant. I went on a little tangent.
No, dude, I'm here. I needed to hear that. So yeah, thank you. Uh, I didn't want to bounce back to how what brought you out to California.
What brought me out to California was I looked at the common denominator between the professionals out in Minnesota, and I noticed that on the local regional scene, it's pretty good. Like there was 3 guys in our gym, me included, that were top ranked in the country. Uh, we had the 2 top ranked. We had the number one 155 pounder Cameron Gilliam, Killicam. And then we had middleweight Chase Walden, who almost broke through a couple times, but he had some pretty tough fights. Gerald Mishart for LFA championship title, and then a couple really tough fights for the contender series, and those gatekeepers kept him out. But we had all top dogs. I mean, we were producing champions and number one guys, but those my boy Chase stayed in Minnesota. Me and him made a trip down to Vegas so he could go on the Ultimate Fighter, but it switched to women. So we ended up going to California, trained with Sean Strickland a little bit over at Team Quest when he was over at Dan Henderson's in Temecula, and he was like, "Dude, we have to be down here. We're not doing drills like they're doing. We're not getting this work in. They're wearing MMA gloves. Like we're just wearing boxing gloves the whole time. This is completely different. We need this in our life." And I'm like, damn, you're right. And then I started looking at all the pros on the local scene, and they would do good until they went national or fought somebody from outside the state, and then they get smoked. Almost, I'd say probably 90% of the time, 80-90% of the time. And so I'm like, man, I don't like those odds. Uh, so I reached out to my manager, Jason House, and I was like, hey, um, I was like, I was like, do you have any fights for me? Because I just turned pro, and he was like, no, dude, you're like the boogeyman. Nobody wants to fight you. I'm like, fuck, because I was top ranked in the country for boxing and MMA at the same time. But I don't think people knew that about my boxing. And I was like, shit. I was like, well, hey, what if I move to California? And he goes, what? He's like, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, are you not happy with where you're at? He's like, you could come live with me in Temecula. He's like, I don't care. He's like, bro, we'll get you an extra room, all this, like ready to accommodate me right away. And he's like, but you know what? I think there's a spot open at Timoyama. They have a fighter house. You could live there. I think there's one more spot open. Let me check. So he calls up Timoyama and he goes, yep, bring him out. And he calls me like half an hour later. He goes, dude, great news. I got the opportunity of a lifetime. How soon can you get to California? I go, shit. I go, give me 3 months. And he goes, dude, there's one spot left. I need you to up that pace. And I was like, fuck, man. It was like beginning of October. I go, give me like a month and a half, 2 months, and I'll get out there. And he's like, I was like, does that work? Is that cool? And he's like, that works. It's cool. I was like, all right, awesome. So so I said all my goodbyes, made sure I didn't burn any bridges. Of course, when you're leaving, people they're not too happy and they have their opinion, but I knew it was right for me, and I packed up everything in my car after a month and a half, and drove 31 hours with everything in my car. Stopped at my grandma's house for Thanksgiving, and then went to the fighter house and started living there.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it's working out. How do you like California?
I love California.
Yeah.
I tell everybody it's like living in a Dr. Seuss book. Swear to God. It's crazy, man. It's so beautiful. The mindset is completely different. People are so helpful. Like if you if you're like, hey, I wanna I wanna lay carpet. They'd be like, oh dude, no way. I know a guy who's a manufacturer, and he can get the finest the carpet and the way that it lays down and the glue and everything in the wood. He's got all of it. Like, and they'll just and like I just feel like people direct you. Boom, 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 boom. It's like it's like I wanna create this, and boom, just people lead you right to it. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
People are very helpful, and I think anybody that says like any part of town or any place is like this. Um, I always tell them I go interesting. I feel like people are a mirror image of ourselves, and they're like, what? I'm like,
No, that's so true though, because this is 2 years ago. I lived in Kansas my entire life, and I was working this little serving job at this like pizza place, and I went out to visit a homie out in Thousand Oaks, and I met some of his friends. They were like, "Hey,
nice,
I love To, dude.
nice.
They had a room up in like 2 months, and they're like, if you want it, you got it." I'm like, that's a huge decision to make. So I went home, I tossed a coin. I was like, I'm moving to California, so I told all these people, like all my regulars at the restaurant, and they're like, you have to be careful out there. Like people are full of.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know. It's pretty expensive out there.
yeah, you gotta
But
look out.
the
I live in Ventura. Nicest people I ever met. I've
yeah,
never.
Ventura is beautiful, isn't it?
I love it, dude. Ventura
Yeah,
is
Ventura's
gorgeous. I'm back out in Kansas right now for a few more months, but I'm hoping to get out there ASAP. Yeah,
yeah, man. It's like even like the most random people like there I just recognize that there's certain people that are always just a certain way. And I don't like to call everybody NPCs, but they kind of are. It's just like their personality never changes. They always just have like a worried belief. And so like even when I announced that I was going to Australia, it's like not it's not congrats, so happy for you. It's oh be careful out there. There's bugs and spiders, and like it's like what? Like what are you even talking about? And it's like and then while I'm out there, I don't even see any bugs. I don't think I saw one bug when I was out there. There's probably a bunch of them, but I think like there's something in our minds called the RAS, the reticular activating system, which kind of like guides us to like what we see and what we focus on. And I think mine is just set. Like I've been programming my shit for so long that it's just like you could have like all this bullshit around me and I'll still see the good in it. All I see is the good. You know, all I'm looking for is what's beneficial and what's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Starve the doubt. Starve the doubt. Feed the love and passion.
I feel like that plays a huge factor in your like positive vibes too, because you're not gonna be that happy go lucky guy if you're always worried about like what could go wrong. Like I don't know, everybody's telling me this and that about California, and I was like, dude, I could stare at a palm tree for like 2 hours, and I did too. I
Oh
just
no, bro! I got a palm tree in my
oh,
backyard.
I
So
love palm trees, man. I love palm trees, and I remember I almost cried one time because I organically saw a dolphin. Like I was just walking by the beach and I saw that dude like hop out of the water. I'm like, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like,
dude,
uh,
I swam with like what must have been like 40, 50 dolphins in Newport Beach when me and my buddy Jordan were bodyboarding. It was absolute insanity.
bro, my first time out in California was 2016. I went to visit some friend I met online like 2 years ago. I just turned 21, and I went to Newport Beach. That was the first beach I'd ever been to. First time I touched the ocean. It was gorgeous, dude. I'm like, I need to go back out there for like nostalgia's sake. But have you seen it when they get like? Don't you get blue algae out there at Newport Beach?
Yeah, and I missed it because like when I was at the fighter house, they're like, oh, da 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 da, it's here and there, but it's like, dude, you were like a slave in that fighter house. Like, bro, you were from the morning you woke up, you had like chores that you had to do in the house, and then you had to do your chores, and then you would go to your first training session, and then once you got done with your first training session, you would have to clean up a spot in the gym, and then you would go home, eat, shower, like 20, 30 minutes, and then I had to go back and teach kids class up until to teach kids jujitsu and then kickboxing up until jujitsu practice. And then once you got done with jujitsu practice, which is an hour, then you did wrestling practice for an hour. And then you had to wait till everybody in the gym left, and it's a big gym. And then you had to clean out your area. And then once you cleaned out your area, then you could go home. Well, that
That's,
time it's like
so
10 o'clock,
your day's booked like minute to minute all the way.
minute to minute, bro. And then I was living at the fighter house. I had all my stuff there, but I had a girlfriend at the time, and she lived in Compton. So I would wait to get done with that, and then I'd shoot over to her place. So it was crazy, bro. My first year here was fucking crazy. And honestly, I gotta hit her up because we broke up because she went to the Air Force. But man, like she was a big reason why a good woman in your life will keep you motivated. And she was one person where it was like at the end of the day I knew I could just like really look forward to like seeing her, and I could like kind of like forget. So I drive all the way from Irvine out to Compton and go see her, and fuck man, there were so many times where like you're just getting your ass kicked, and you're going all day, every day, bro. Like overtraining, probably. Like it was just nonstop. And then like I'd be like, all right, well at least I get to hang out with her at the end of the night and like eat some food and like and just chill and kind of forget about this.
Yeah, kind of like was like a safe haven of like a hectic day.
Yeah, because like you would train so hard all day, grind and do all this, and then you go back and like fighter life is still there. Like you're with all
Yeah,
your teammates and whatnot, which my teammates were dope. Everybody's pretty cool. it was just a lot. It's for me. I like a good work life balance a little bit. I just like to do things when I want to do them. To be honest.
Yeah, no, yeah,
you
I totally
know.
get that, man. It's like that weird thing of like, if you're about to do something, you're cool with it, but if somebody's like, "Hey, you should do that," you're like, "Fuck no,
Oh
I'm not
my
gonna do
god.
it." Yeah,
You're like, well, I can never do this ever again.
yeah,
I'm doing this because I want to do it, not because you told me to
yeah.
do
That's not my thing.
it. I'm the
I
same exact way.
I have some questions about the featherweight division, but first, just because you mentioned Compton, I want to know, just on a scale of 1 to 10, if you have one, could you rate? It's one of my favorite albums ever, "Good Kid, Mad City" by Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, I've never really listened to Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, we'll just notch that as in a 10 out of 10. Oh, we'll just assume the
Yeah,
best. Okay.
yeah.
Uh, I'd recommend it though. It's really cool. It was part of the reason I really want to move out to California. I was just like,
Really?
yeah, I was like, I don't know, man. It's like, I know the whole like album is about like some like gang violence growing up, but it's also like, I don't know, it's interesting, like
Yeah,
my
it is.
problems growing up was like I was a skateboarder that went to a country guy school, so like I got called names for wearing skinny jeans. It was like that's so like insignificant compared to what these dudes are going through.
Oh
But
yeah, man. It's wild. Compton's more run down now. Yeah, so a lot of the black dudes went to Rancho Cucamonga, and and then yeah, the black community went from to Rancho Cucamonga and Watts, and so right now Compton. I mean, this like it's like heavily Mexican black, but it's mainly Mexicans, and then they just kind of overtook it. It's more just like run down and they're fixing it up. They're trying to make it a better place, but um, who knows? Like gentrification is hard in areas like that.
oh yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Uh, sorry, sorry, I keep getting distracted, man. Uh, okay,
I'm the same way.
to touch on the featherweight division, I have some questions. There's some huge matchups going on right now. I know there's like featherweight has got to be one of the most stacked weight classes right now. Like
Oh, it's sick.
you look at the top 30 and it's all like dream matchups of mine. But the obvious one right now is Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez.
I
That's
just seen that. That's a fire fight, bro.
how do you see that one going? And like, what are your thoughts on Volk as a champ in general?
I think he's a good champ. Um, he's a great champ, and here's the reason why, man. He's willing to go against all odds. Everybody said that he had zero chance against Makachev, and I even said that Makachev was gonna win. Now he did win, but nobody thought that it was gonna be that close. And fucking guy went up to the 55 division and did it, and he's beat a lot of greats in the 45 division, and looked really good against them and looked good against Holloway. Like man, it was like crazy what he did to Korean Zombie. Getting out of that choke from T City. But he's beatable. He's
Yeah,
definitely beatable. And I'd like to test it out against him. Especially after beating his teammate. Because Shane Young's with City Kickboxing. So he's training with Adesanya. He's training with Volkanovski and all those, and Dan Hooker and all those guys. So to me, it don't matter what gym you're from and who you are and where you're at. Like none of that matters,
yeah.
because like I'm gonna go in and impose my will. But I think he's good. Yair is really good, man.
Would
Yair,
you would
I
you
got
would you? Oh, sorry, sorry, I got a lag. What was that?
I got Yair in that fight.
Yeah, yeah, you're okay. That answers my next question. Uh, I feel like the obvious thing would be you would prefer for Volk to be able to hold on to that belt for however long it takes you to climb the ranks, and whoever beats Yair is going to be, or Volk. That's going to be like that's got to be almost as exciting as winning the belt. Is like I won the belt,
Oh
but
yeah,
double that because I beat Volk.
yeah.
But with Yair, and it's just hard to like hold a title for that long in this sport, especially in the UFC, and especially at featherweight with all these guys. Like Holloway, still in the conversation. He's fighting Arnold Allen, who is one of the top dudes in my opinion. That guy
Oh,
is phenomenal.
damn. Those two are fighting?
Yeah, they're
That's
fighting
gonna
in Kansas City. I'm gonna try mob out there for it.
that's gonna be a banger. When is that fight?
I want to say it's in April, or it could be
Damn.
May. I suck at my months, but it's coming up, and that's going to be a good fight. We have like you said, T City. He's always like in the wings of the division.
Yep.
Mosar Evliov, then yeah, Josh Emmett too. He's still in there, but with yourself, like how quickly do you picture your rise? I've heard you recently say that you want to be active. In a perfect world, like how quick do you get it to the top 15, top 5 title fight?
Oh, by 2024. I said that I'd break in the top 15 by the end of this year.
Yeah,
Yep.
perfectly doable too, especially if you're fighting. I think you're fine. I'm not gonna say I want you to be able to drop that, but
Yeah. We're gonna be announcing it soon. You know, it's like it's not set in stone. So I've had so many times where I said that it was gonna be this, and then people were like, "I thought you were fighting." I'm like, "Bro, me too." Like me, like it's a crazy game, bro. And like, you know, some people might not like the fight stylistically, like all this, and for me, I don't care about any of that. He can stylistically be better, and like, bro, it's just gonna push me to get better. Like Volkanovski had a good thing that he said. He's just like he's like, I know that he's got really good wrestling and all this. He's like, so I'm gonna work on my wrestling and get it better. It's like, yeah, just fucking get better, bro. Like that's what we're here to do is get better and grind and grow and seek to be better in every way, you know? Don't be an NPC. Be a fucking a character that you can build and grow your attributes on.
yeah,
You know.
right. The silver lining in taking like hard stylistic matchups is you're just gonna work on the things that you not lacking in, but things that you're like, okay, they have this, I'm gonna work on that more.
Exactly. Exactly.
I heard you. I know this happens all the time in like amateur and regional fights with like people missing weight or they I've been to a few like or like amateur fights and like they have like the hometown people can like weigh in a day early and just
Yep.
fucking entirely. So you've would you consider like a 155 fight should anything like short notice pops up, or are you sticking to 145 and you're like this is where I'm gonna make my run?
Yeah. 145. 145 is
145.
where I'll stay because I don't like doing short notice fights because I I like having my mind and my body prepared. You know, so it's like, am I afraid to do 55? No, but I just like the preparation. You know, and proper preparation prevents a poor performance. You know, and some people like going in there at short notice and da 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 da. And I've done it before. I fought like state kickboxing title fight, 2 weeks notice against a guy who's been in the UFC now, Brandon Jenkins, and we did that and beat him. But definitely, it gives you. I like a little bit longer duration because it gives me a little bit of an idea of what I want to work on, and then I can see if I made progress in that area where I was working on it. Instead
Right.
of just going in and winging it, you know, I could be like, all right, well, I worked, uh, uh, you know, changing levels. I worked on lateral movement. I worked on connecting my strikes together well, you know, really blending in knees and elbows and hands and low kicks. And then go look at the tape. Oh yeah, all right, I did this very well. Or ooh, all right, I'm a little bit hesitant in this area. I could definitely improve on this.
Yeah, and that makes so much sense. You can't be faulted for. I as I've been watching for like almost 10 years now, and it seems like I feel like a prime example of like the risk in short notice fights is like Jack Hermanson. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's like 0-3 in short notice fights. Like
Yeah.
he'll be like he'll have an opponent and he'll take somebody on like completely different. Like it's not like it's short notice for both parties in that situation. But like Roman Dolidze, there was another one that was in my head. I feel like it was Cannonier. Those are both short notice, and he was so close to like top 3 at least, and then he just takes a short notice fight because he's a fucking gangster, and then he comes up short. But yeah.
And then you got guys like I kill everybody. What's
Hamza.
Hamzat, yeah, who fights like 5 times in a week and like kills everybody. You know, it's like but he's not taking a lot of damage. And even for me, like I have an athletic mindset, and what I mean by that is as long as you know you're like preparing for it, and your coaches see that you're prepared, you're in the gym a lot every day, which I always am. Like I fought 6 times in a month, because I had a MMA fight, beat the guy, smoked the guy the whole time, but my coach in Minnesota did not want to turn me pro. And after that fight, I was like, "Hey, what do you need to see from me in this fight?" And he goes, "I want to see you out wrestle a wrestler." And I was like, "All right, bet." This guy wrestled his whole entire life, picked him up, slammed him against the cage, dumped him on the ground, purposefully didn't finish him because I just wanted to grapple him and just terrorize this guy the whole time. And then I go back to my corner after the third, and hey, what do you think about that fight, coach? We killed that guy. And I was like, I out wrestled a wrestler, and he's like, yeah, you could have knocked him out. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And so he says that to me, and I was so pissed off about it. The next morning, I signed up at a boxing gym from this guy that I used to box with at my first boxing gym, Cericio, woo woo. So I'm like, woo. I was like, let me get some working with you, bro. I was like, I'll sign up, da 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 da. Da. And he's like, oh, congrats on your fight, champ. I was like, thanks, man. It was cool, but I should have knocked the guy out. And he's like, all right. And he's like, I'll work with you in a second. So me and him start working, and we get done with our training session. He goes, hey, man, what you doing next week? I'm like, I don't know, working. And he's like, hey, you trying to? He's like, or no. He's like, hey, you want to fight in the ringside worlds? And I was like, yeah. When is it? And he's like, it's on Wednesday. I'm like next Wednesday. And it was Saturday because RFA fights, which was Legacy and LFA before they merged. Yeah, which is LFA now. Legacy and RFA merged. But I just fought in RFA Friday. The fights were Friday. Saturday, I signed up with him. I get my boxing license on Monday, and we're heading out to Missouri, Independence, Missouri, on Tuesday, and Wednesday we get the fighter briefing, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I fight all 4 days and win the ringside world tournament at 165. So I just cut weight to I cut weight to 50. The guy said he couldn't make 45. That we'll do it at 50. So I did 50. Then the guy said that he can't make 50 through 55. And so I was like, all right, 55. And then the guy's like, oh yeah, I can't make 55. The lowest I can get is 164. I was like, what? And so I fought that fucking guy. I was 155 weighing in, and I fought that fucking guy at 160 at 160. He was at 164 at the weigh-in, and this is how the game goes. I go, I don't give a fuck. Just make sure he shows up.
I just want to condense this because, in my opinion, this might be like the most beautiful level of petty. Your coach is like, you should wrestle this guy. You're like, okay, I will. So you do, and he's like, you should have knocked him out. So the next day, you sign up for a boxing gym. You go all the way down to Missouri. You fight 3-4 days in a row. Beat some dude that's got 10 pounds on you and win a title.
Yeah. And I get back. I got the title, the ringside world title from 2016. And I'm like, coach, I was like, you see that? I was like, check it out. Look what I brought back. He's like, yeah, I know, I saw. He's like, you didn't even wear a Spartan jersey. I go, bro, I swear to God.
You got something every time.
I was like, it was like, I never grew up with my dad, but if I did have a fucking dad, like, and he did that shit to me, it's just like, no matter what I do, it's not enough.
That's just like straight out of a fucking sitcom, dude.
Yeah.
He's always got something.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this is fucking bullshit. I'm like, no way. Just like takes me from up here. It's like, shut the fuck up, sit down. And it was like, but I guess maybe it was just me. It was kind of his demeanor too, but like, it always kept me hungry.
Yeah, it kind of breaks me as like that like common movie trope where it's like, oh, I want to learn how to fight, and they're like, go fucking wash my car or some shit, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
Off and it's like, oh, but you know how to fight now or something. Granted, you're actually fighting instead of washing cars, but the sentiment is there. In terms of fighters, not like training partners or coaches, but who like in the UFC or MMA in general, who has inspired you? Like who do you watch like highlight reels of in your downtime?
For MMA?
Yeah.
Shit. For MMA, if I was gonna look somebody up, it was like back in the day, it was Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva?
Yeah, back in the day, it was Anderson Silva. Like, man, like, he was just unbelievable. Him, George St. Pierre were big inspirations of mine. Especially George St. Pierre, it's just like, he's in Canada, buff white boy. I was in Minnesota, which is right next to Canada. I was a buff white boy. I used to have short hair like him too. And but now, now it's like I take inspiration from everybody, like definitely Conor McGregor like came on the scene and just fucking mopped the floor with the competition and raised the level of like belief, and now guys are wearing suits and whatnot, and it's just a beautiful thing. But the person that I look up to most in the UFC is me, man. Like now when I look at myself as a fighter, I'm like damn, I'm getting fucking crazy good, and I can't wait, and like because I have that belief in myself and how good my striking's getting, and how confident I am in my jiu-jitsu skills. I just feel like it's a matter of time before like other people start catching the wave too. Like, damn, whoa, how did I not see this before? Like, this dude's getting good like exponentially fast.
Yeah, I don't mean to say this like, I know everybody says it, but I think with you, like, it is only a matter of time. Like, you can only do so much in so much time, but I feel like with your career, what is it? 8-1, 4 finishes, and the way you perform, like not just against these top guys, but these top guys in their backyards. Like it's only a matter of, I need this date, this person to show up, and let's do that 3 times a year, and let's keep doing it.
Yeah, it's like, bro, I went into Reggie Valdo or Frankie Buenafuente, the guy I was supposed to fight. Fucking Fat Boy couldn't make weight. Eddie Torres, he couldn't make weight. They said that he had COVID. They protected him. He didn't have COVID. He couldn't make weight. And so I know for a fact, because like the two people had two different stories, and I was like, got you guys. Like, you're just He's just covering up for him. But he's like, he was too fat, couldn't cut the weight, couldn't cut anymore, didn't want to be embarrassed, so he didn't want that to be the story. But it's the story, like we all know it. So I fight Frankie Buenafuente. I'm fighting a 4-0 guy, and now I'm fighting a 10. I'm fighting a 10-4 guy, or he's like 10-5. It's like
Mm.
15 pro fights for my fourth for my fifth fight. It's like, what the fuck? Like, damn, like that's a lot. I took it on snap my fingers. Hey, he can't do it. This guy? Yep. Which one? Oh, him right there? Oh yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Took that fight. It was in his backyard. He's from New Jersey. Strangled him. Next fight, I go and fight Reggie Valdo Carvalho. He's training with Glover Teixeira. His main partner that he's training with, Alex Pereira. And so people are like, oh, that guy was da 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 da. It's like, dude, he's training with Glover Teixeira and Alex Pereira. The former number one guy and now currently the number one guy who just beat Israel Adesanya. So it's like, don't fucking tell me in his backyard. Knocked him out. Cold. Ah. Slapped him. Slumped him. Fucking next fight, I'm fighting a guy from TriStar. Number one in Canada, 4 pro titles, fought and beat a couple guys in the UFC. Everybody doubted me. And then it wasn't in his backyard, but it was like the level of competition's going way up. Not supposed to win. Then I go out there. Now, he had like a year off, year and a half off or something, and then now he's training with Israel Adesanya, Volkanovski, and Dan Hooker. And it's like, oh yeah, well, this guy trains with this guy. It's like, dude, I don't give a fuck who he trains with. It doesn't matter. I don't care who his coaches are. For us, a hobby, he's Alex Morgan's coach. He didn't have anything for him in the fight. It doesn't matter. I do
Yeah.
not.
And like in hindsight, looking back, you've had all these big name coaches, big name teams with all these high level teammates, and they're helping people prep up for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that definitely does something with putting you on the radar.
Yeah, man. It's like I appreciate Colin and I appreciate all my old teammates and whatnot, but me and them were never like really close. Like we were cool, we were cordial, but it's just I never really had that connection. So now that I got a really good connection with my coach, like my partners that I drill with, like aren't like the best in the entire world. They're like top 15, but they're really good. They're really good guys and they're consistent and they show up and they work their fucking ass off just like anybody else. Just like Chito Vera or like Alex Perez or people like that, like, and those are guys that like were like main sparring partners that when I first came down here, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a line up people too, dude. Like Chito Vera, he's killing our there. Alex Perez, I love watching that. I love watching the smaller weight classes too.
Good. Fernando Padilla, he's fighting Julian Erosa pretty soon here. I think April.
Yeah, Rosa, that dude's super entertaining too. For sure, he's like
Yeah.
he like averages like a post fight bonus. I'm pretty sure anyway. That should be a good scrap. Is there other than like other people's backyards? Is there like a dream venue for you though? Like
I want to go to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really bad. I just think it'd be so dope.
Bro, I watched like all the embeds and like I checked out everybody's hotel rooms and I was like, that is the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, my boy Razak Al Hassan, his name is like Razak Thunder Judo on Instagram. but he went over there, and I trained with him. Even in Texas when I was still an amateur, him and Chad Skelly and Pat Curran. I was helping Pat Curran get ready for Tricky Pitbull when I was an amateur in Texas, and just like being around these guys and doing all that and seeing their career like take off, like Mark De La Rosa, Montana De La Rosa, they were all there, and seeing all of them get into the UFC and just knowing that it's like gonna be my time soon. I just got to get fights. I just got to get people to sign a contract and actually show up the day of the fight, and I'll be Gucci. But it's been tough, but we made it, and now people got to take the fight.
Yeah, only up from here, dude. Only up
Only
from
up
here.
from here.
I like that you did mention Chaz Skelly. I love watching that dude's fights. His grappling was phenomenal whenever he was fighting, and he's still like my meme plug on Instagram. I just watch his stories. I'm like, I'm gonna take that, send it to the group chat.
Yeah, Chas is funny, dude. He's awesome. He hit me up before my pro debut for the UFC, and was just like, "Hey, you're going to Australia." He's like, "Make sure that you get your taxes and stuff like handled a certain way." He's like, "Make sure you talk to somebody that took like 40% of Michael Johnson's bonus." He's like, "When I
Oh
went,"
shit!
I'm like, "Jesus." I was like, "Well, good looks, bro. Appreciate it."
Damn, I didn't even think about all that. Yeah, I don't even like because like I'm so far out of the like being a fighter. I don't even think about that. Who was I talking? I was talking to Eric Anders, and he was talking about his dream venue was he wanted to scrap of he fought at MGM or the Garden, and he was like, so cool, but they tax you so much out there in New York. The
Oh
commission does.
yeah.
So it's like dream venue, but also like I want the bag still, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dream venue, but like, can I still get paid, please?
Just move MGM to Vegas or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the thing.
just a few more from me, and then yeah, I'm good. I appreciate the time, by the way, man. Yeah, this
No
is
worries.
like
I'm chilling. That's that time aside.
I appreciate you, dude. So we talked about fighters that inspired you. I want to talk about like the stuff that inspires you right before a fight, primarily a walkout song. Like what's the thought process behind finding a walkout song, and do you like to switch it up?
Yeah, I like to switch it up. So I was gonna come out to Back Then by Mike Jones. Back then, hoes didn't want me. No, hoes all on me. But then I was like just vibing in the gym, and I was bumping some Clever. This song that my boy Clever made. Shout out to Clever. Lonely. Fucking cool ass motherfucker. Um, him and Lil Wayne made a song called "Call Me Nobody," and it's just a fucking banger, bro. Just an absolute masterpiece. And it's cool because like I walked out to it, and Clever actually hit me up. And he put the reel of me walking out on his Instagram, and and
Oh hell,
uh and followed me on IG. I was like, whoa! I was like, damn, this guy's like one of the most underrated artists in the game, and then he's like following me and like fucking. I was like, that's dope, and giving me a shout out, and so it's cool. He might come out to my next fight. Let's see if I can give him some tickets. Fucking cool ass motherfucker. I'd like to have him and Lil Wayne walk me out, but it's just all about the vibe. It's just like the lyrics, like when they're hitting. I knew that like when I was walking out, I don't give a fuck if they're booing me, throwing popcorn at me, or whatever. I'm vibing. I'm enjoying myself as I'm walking out. So I'm gonna do my thing and clap these people's hands and fucking put on a good show for them. Even before I got on this, there's a Australian guy that's like, he's like, mate, my friend couldn't believe that you wrote back to me. He's like you're a fucking legend over here, sick cunt. He's like, so fucking and I wrote back to him a little bit more, but he was just asking like what my next fight was going to be. And the Australian fans, if they didn't like me at first, uh, most of them did afterwards. Everybody's been cool with me. And that's what he said. He's like the Australian fans love you. He's like everybody is rooting for you, man. So it was fucking cool.
Yeah, they seem like a dope fan base.
They're awesome, bro. Everybody in Australia is fucking dope as fuck.
I want if like I could have like one wish come true for like fighting wise anyway, I would like probably like consider like having you have like a full on boxing walkout with like Lil Wayne walking out with you, and then afterward,
Oh yeah.
like I want you to like Tyson Fury it up though. Like but I want you to like sing some like Spanish for everybody. I heard you sing the other
Oh,
day, and dude, yo, you got some pipes on you.
I was just at my buddy's. I was just at my buddy's birthday yesterday, and typically we go to this place called Tres Muchachos, and they have like the mariachi there sometimes. And then they always have me stand up and sing Christian Nodel's "Adios Amor."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
After your live the other day, I was walking around singing Selena, dude. I was just coming my duele out here over here.
Yeah, bro. Fucking, you gotta do it, bro.
Yeah, I got a homie out from like Kansas City, and he's teaching me all these songs. I'm like, dude, this is dope. Like, it gets me hyped up, dude. Like, I don't fully understand the language yet, but I fucking get jazzed.
Hey, same here, bro. You can feel it though. I swear.
I'm looking forward to the next walkout.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
Next, just I don't know if it's like planned out or not, but do you have anything planned out for your next tattoo?
Oh man, do you see the ones that I just got?
Well, which ones? The for your brother?
Yeah. Well, I just
Yeah.
got this, and then I just got the flower of life going around right there,
Bro, that's so tight.
and then I got the sacred heart that you see, like a heart on fire with two swords going through it. Kind of hard to see, but yeah. And then I want to get I want to get I want to get animal in the same font that Javante Davis has on his
Oh yeah.
of Baltimore on his upper back. Shit's hard.
No, yeah, his tattoos are sick too. Yeah,
That's
that'll be hella hard. Yeah, the legs look all of it looks phenomenal. Yeah, I didn't see the legs like that though. I saw like the process of the like the headpiece on your knee, and then I saw like
yeah,
the product of the knee. But yeah, that flows well.
yeah. He this shit just healed up. He fucking knocked it out the park, bro. He did so much detailing on the skull with the Native American headdress and whatnot. Fucking dope. When we got down.
Yeah, I still only got one, so I'm like hella lacking. But I'll let you know whenever I get more inked up.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
know, bro. Fucking, I want to get more, but I'm. It takes like 2 weeks to heal, and like you can't like train that much. It's like, oh fuck, it's tough. It's tough. You gotta find the time, get them all done at once, and then fucking let them heal, and then like back to work.
I got some little like throwaway like just I paid like $100 for this little like BoJack Horseman tattoo on my lower calf. My
That's
last
awesome.
day in Kansas. So I moved out to California, and I was like, let's go to the fucking beach. And I was like, let's go to the beach right now. And then I was like, oh wait, I can't get in the water because like I just got
Nope.
this. So this kind of myself for like 2 weeks, but
Yep. Yep. Sucks. But that's why I was like getting a little chunky for a little bit because I was like I got a couple nicks and dings still from the fight, and then I got the tattoos. And when you got your tattoos, you can't like, especially on your like knee pit, like right there, you can't run or like do anything, you know. And you want it to heal up nicely, so you just gotta do what you can with what you got.
yeah, right.
Yep.
Uh, I am also curious. So we mentioned you singing, you mentioned skateboarding, and I also like just out of nowhere, you're like the best beatboxer I ever heard in my life. Like,
I appreciate it.
what other like secret talents do you have? I feel like you just dominate any talent show you enter.
Oh man, for sure. Well, I just like I had a lot of free time as a kid, because my mom would work overnights and then she'd sleep during the day, so I wouldn't really. I was, I mean, I was just kind of left to my own, you know. It's like my mom was just tired, and she had work to do and whatnot. She's a single parent, so me and my brother kind of raised ourselves, and like if we needed to get anywhere, we'd bike, and if we didn't have a bike at the time, we'd walk. And like when you're on those long ass fucking walks, 2 hours, 3 hours, like man, you're walking home from school or you're walking to school. My school's fucking far in middle school. So when I was like 13, 14 years old, like my school was like 5, 6 miles away. You bike it, not bad. You walk it, it's a fucking journey. so, I could really be one of those guys that's like, in the wintertime, I used to bike 5 miles through the
Yeah.
wearing nothing but this kind of coat, and I still made it, and but yeah, we beatbox. We found me and my boy band. I found a Roselle tape, and we just started like listening to it and trying to get better at it every day. And we're just entertainers. It's in my blood to like just fucking entertain and want to put on a show for everybody and make everybody feel good and just wow the audience, and when I'm alone, like I feel like I can take my time to build up my skills and then and then perfect it and then bring it to an audience and see what they think about it. And so there's a lot of that. I don't even really know. Maybe like doing voices too of other people.
Like impressions or like
Yeah, impressions. Like I don't know, like when I get excited and then like I'm trying to make somebody laugh, like I'll do a bunch and people are like, oh, do this and that. It's like I can't really like off the top of my head, like I'm not inspired, but it's just something that's like innately in me. Like I could like listen to somebody talk for a little bit, find like if you I was really in a sitcom, so everybody has a catchphrase, and like even in life, like people have one thing that they say a lot, and it's their catchphrase. It's what makes them them, and they say it in a certain way, and I could hear the fluctuations in people's voice and like the tonality of like how they like bring it up or bring it down for like lower upper flexion in their vocal cords. So I pay attention to like all this little shit, like even like subconsciously, like I'm not even like consciously paying attention to it.
So you just kind of like your brain just takes in like a very analytical way. Like you're just like
Yeah.
you're not even thinking. You're like dissecting what somebody does.
Yeah, I just like pick up on like yeah, like little micro movements that everybody does and idiosyncrasies that I pick up on, and so I just I just I just notice it, and like in my head it'll make me laugh when I notice it, and so because I think it's funny, then like when I go to make other people laugh, I just think it's funny. And then it's always awkward when they're like, "Dude, do the impersonation of them to them." I'm like, dude, don't fucking. That's so. You know how awkward that is. Like, come on. And then I
Yeah.
feel bad. Then I'll do it, and it will sound like them, and they're like, "This is bullshit."
I love that though. I would like I wanted to get into like animation whenever I first went to college, and I was like, I'm gonna be an animation major, and then like I was like, hey, now with all these dudes that can do like voiceovers really good, like voice acting, and
Yeah.
I was like, these are like the most hilarious motherfuckers I've ever met in my life, But
Oh, bro, being in a room full of people like that would be amazing.
yeah, no, they're hilarious. Plus, like I like grew up like on. I just strictly watch cartoons and certain sitcoms. What was your favorite sitcom?
Sitcom probably as a kid it was like I Love Lucy, Three's Company. I like that show with Archie Bunker. Archie,
Yeah.
yeah, eat it, and like it's like when I think about it, like I could just like right off the bat, and I don't know stuff like that. Like like a lot of black and white stuff, Step by Step, Full House, just like heartwarming shows and shit like that too. You know,
Yeah, that 70 show was my comfort show for like
that '70s
watching.
show for sure, amazing. And then I'm like, I don't really watch it anymore, but like, fuck, I'm still a grown kid. Like I'll like if SpongeBob's on, I'll still watch SpongeBob.
Oh, same, dude. Yeah,
Like
I,
so
I
funny.
I watched this like SpongeBob trivia video the other day, and I was like, I got an A plus plus, and I haven't watched it in like
Yeah.
years, you know.
Yeah, like I watched I watched all those shows like Ed and Eddie, fucking Courage the Cowardly Dog, like fucking like Hey Arnold that show gave you like a lot of life lessons and whatnot. Like
I didn't realize how
uh
deep that show was until recently. I went back and
yeah, bro. The Thornberries, like bro, Nick at Night was like my favorite thing. I didn't grow up with cable when I was like a kid, and all my friends had it. So like when I got it, I was like, oh my god, we have cable. I appreciated it so much.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
I'm
yeah,
a I just turned 27, so I grew up like SpongeBob. I caught the hind end of Hey Arnold. I really liked Teen Titans and like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Those are my shows.
yeah, I haven't seen those last two, Teen Titans or the Imaginary Friends one. I was like just out of the like I don't know. I think that's when I was just like watching fighting a lot. I was
Oh yeah,
watching like I was just obsessed with UFC and M1 Impossible, the kickboxing, Muay Thai shows, boxing. Was like just obsessed with fucking boxing, and yeah, that's like around the time when I stopped watching wrestling. Like I was a big wrestling fan too.
like
Like
WWE or like actual wrestling.
no, like WWF. Like
Oh,
World
okay, okay,
Wrestling
yeah.
Federation, fucking Shawn Michaels and all those guys. Like just the best era.
Oh yeah. I started watching WWE whenever I was like I want to say I was like 10 or something like that, and I remember this is the first time I ever got grounded. I used my mom's credit card to buy an event, and I watched like the Great Khali versus Rey Mysterio, and the Great Khali
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio and like squeezed his head till he like started bleeding out of his mouth. And I woke my mom up. I was like, "We need to like call the cops or something." And she's like, "How did you buy this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, my bad." Like,
She's like, you grounded. She's like, whoa, what?
no,
Can I still
I
benefit?
as long as you don't take it, you know. Who
I already spent the money.
who just like maybe favorite boxer and then favorite like WWF wrestler all time.
Favorite WWF wrestler? Probably probably Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, his walkout music's goaded. I can see you doing
The,
something like that. You got the hair for it too, dude.
the Heartbreak Kid.
Oh yeah,
That's why I'm growing out the hair, bro.
that's it.
Hit him with the little sweet chin music, bro.
Bro, I have his walkout song downloaded in my phone. Like, it comes on shuffle sometimes. As like, I downloaded it as a meme, but it comes on shuffle whenever I'm jamming, like cleaning the house. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
The best. The best.
yeah.
And then boxers. Fuck, bro, that's so tough. There's so many good. It's between Joe Louis, um, the Brown Bomber, and it's like I'm gonna name a few, bro. It's like um, Joe Louis, fucking uh, 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 Sugar Ray Robinson, uh, and and uh, what's his name? Man, there's so many good boxers, bro. It's fucking crazy. And Prince Nassim.
Oh my god, yeah. I
Mm.
watch that dude's highlights all the time. Like once a week, I'm watching his highlights.
That's whose highlights I watch all the time. Prince Nassim, bro. He's the fucking man. Yeah, there's so many good guys out there, man. Where it's just like they're larger than life. Their characters are they're their character is just like godly. Like these guys just embrace life to the fullest. Like man, there's nothing like some of these boxers, man. They're just incredible. They had an aura to them, all of them.
Absolutely. I got into combat sports in general. Like I'm not like a fighter or anything like that. I've competed in jiu-jitsu a handful of times. I've like the most minuscule amount of cauliflower ear ever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That I fell into it. At first, I was like at my grandparents' house, and I just walked by the TV when my grandpa was watching sports, and I caught Chael Sonnen, like a promo for Chael Sonnen Silva 2. He was just roasting Anderson Silva. I'm like, that's hilarious. That was good.
Yeah.
And then I just got more into it. I looked up professional fighter trash talk, and I watched probably like maybe like 2 hours a day worth of like Muhammad Ali just speaking, and I was like, that's good. And then I I had like I like the grappling more than like the striking though. So I started watching like Chael Sonnen, and then I just went down that whole thing. I was a huge. Then I got into the boxing. I was a huge Junior Dos Santos fan too, growing up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cigano was a fucking man. Yeah, he's had a rough last little batch of fights.
Yeah, I ignored it. I blocked it out of my memory.
I
So I know he just
feel
beat
that.
Velasquez in like under a minute.
Yeah, fuck.
But yeah, I'll let you get out of here. I just had one more like parting question though for you.
Sure.
It's pretty broad, so feel free to go any direction you want with it. But just like in a perfect world, like how does your career pan out, and what impact do you leave like on the sport and those that are close to you?
Beautiful. I see myself elevating in skill set so rapidly and so fast that I just keep shocking the world and the underdog every time fucking coming in and taking over the show and being pound for pound the greatest. That's really what I want. That's what I've been aiming for this whole entire time since I started fighting. And I think the impact that I leave is that you could get a late start in life. You could get a late start to like getting it and statistically I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. I'm supposed to be in like jail or prison or fucking hooked on drugs or alcoholic, all this bullshit. And I fought through all that adversity and I've came out on top and was able to get to where I'm at right now. And I think it'll be I think it'll be something that people take away where they're like, damn, this guy he lost his little brother and he overcame that and won a title a month later and then made it into the UFC and it's like and once people really start seeing my life, I think they'll see a lot of themselves in me, and hopefully, when something tragic happens or something unfortunate happens, or life gets tough, they'll see that there's always a way out if you just keep believing in yourself and have faith in a power greater than yourself. And I think I leave inspiration and hope to the masses, and I can spread the love and the light.
Very well put, and I think you're already doing that, and you'll continue to do it. Blake Builder, I really do appreciate the time. Thank you so much, man. I'm a huge fan, so like I try to mix in journalism with conversation as much as possible because
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, got a job to do, but also fucking Blake Builder, you know. So like I
yeah,
gotta try to homie it up with him. But yeah, I
yeah,
really
but
do
yeah.
appreciate that, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on, man. You did a great job, and hour and a half went by super quick.
Really did, man. Thank you so much. I'm probably gonna have to chop this up into like one or two pieces, but like
Yeah,
I'll let you know when it's posted. Yeah, like I said, I work for NewYorkFights.com, so
dope,
hopefully this will reach a lot of people.
man. I hope so too, man. It's like, I'm not, everybody tries to play like the villain and the superhero, but I think it's two sides of the same coin. And it's like I'm not trying to like hurt anybody, but it's just like same thing with Andrew Tate and Top G. I don't think he's fucking really trying to hurt anybody. I think he's just trying to shake some people to wake them up and make them realize like you can fucking, if you want this shit, go get it. If you want this shit, you gotta work for it. If you want to have a better life, you can have it. But you gotta fucking take contrary action to shit that's fucking making you not believe in yourself. And it's like, choose to be the baddest motherfucker that's ever walked the face of the earth, and you just might do it. And you just might be that. So I hope everybody receives it well, because I really love everybody with all my heart, man. And I really put everything I have into everything that I do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to picture your sentiment and your actions in anything other than a great light.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. Well, you have a great day, man. And I appreciate you, man. God bless.
Yeah, man, bless you. Have a good one, dude.
Later.
Bye.